Hey guys, and welcome to day 3 of the Flats and Hand Washing Challenge, and today we're talking about my favorite flat diaper folds. So I've been using both muslin flats and little flannel receiving blankets, both 100% cotton, and I've been using them each a little bit differently. So for the receiving blankets, I've just been doing pad folds, and I'm sure you all know how to do a pad fold. Receiving blankets are a little bit different because they are longer. They're kind of like rectangular shaped. So I like to first fold down until I get like a square shape, so it's easier to actually fold it into a pad fold. So I fold it down until it's a square shape, and then I fold it in half and fold it in half again, and then I come in and actually roll it 3 times to create the pad fold. Easy peasy, super easy. This is what I like to use the receiving blankets for. The receiving blankets are just a little bit, I feel like, denser. They're just harder to get a pin into, so I don't like to actually pin them and fold them around the baby. I feel like they're just a little bit too thick almost and just harder to pin, in my opinion. The muslin flats feel a little bit lighter and are easier to get a pin through, and I don't have to feel like I'm like gonna stab myself. So I like to actually pin the muslin flats. Okay, apparently on the bed was not the best place to fold, so I'm gonna show you here right on the floor. So you've got your big rectangle, and I believe this is a Joe fold. So I take all of the points to the center. So you're just making a smaller square by bringing all the points in. And then I will go in, and actually this last one that you bring down makes a nice flat surface for getting the poo off of the diaper. Instead of it getting like caught in all these little folds, I like to make this the butt part of the diaper. So I like to keep that in mind as I'm folding. And then I will bring in the bottom part while bringing out the top part, bring in the bottom part, out the top part, and that is the diaper. And the reason I like this fold is because it makes the wings a little bit smaller, and I find that personally, just in my experience, easier to use a diaper pin on. I do like the origami fold, which I will show you next, but I don't like that fold for pinning specifically. I like to use that with like boingos and snappies and stuff, but for pinning specifically, I like my wings to be a little bit smaller, not so massive, so I like to keep it a little bit smaller with this fold here. So that was my daytime diaper. This is what I will use for nighttime, just an origami fold. So you're going to be folding in half, folding in half again, and then you're going to take one of the corners and pull it out, then flip the entire thing over. And I've been liking to do the crotch a little more narrow. So instead of doing like 1, 2 and having it in 3 sections, I will do 1, 2. So it's technically 4 folds in there. It just makes it a little more narrow for Eren. And then I will kind of tuck in these little parts right here so it doesn't make the crotch too bulky, and fold it up. And that is the origami fold that I will wrap around him. And I usually don't pin it. I just wrap it around him with the big old wings like this. It wraps around really well and stays put pretty well. And then I will just add in a little pad fold with another muslin. So these are all the muslin specific folds that I've been using. And I'll just roll that up into a pad fold and throw that in there and then cover it all. So he's got those like 2 layers there. So the reason I like to do the origami fold with a little more narrow of a crotch is because I'm still putting in this big old pad folded one in there too. And I feel like it's just way too bulky if I do the crotch too wide on the origami fold. And so I like to make it a little narrower to kind of counteract the big bulkiness of the pad fold that I'm also adding in there. Now, when Eren wakes up in the morning, if he does pee, sometimes he doesn't pee overnight, but if he wakes up in the morning and his diaper is wet, this is not that badly saturated. This is plenty of absorbency, probably more than he needs, honestly. But Eren's very hit or miss. Some nights he will like totally flood a diaper, and some nights he doesn't pee at all, and some nights he just has like a little tiny pee. So I just like to do it like to the max, just in case he happens to have like a ridiculous pee first thing in the morning or overnight or whatever. So I like to be prepared by having a big giant diaper. I know that my first son, Calvin, who's now 4 and out of diapers, this was borderline almost not enough for him. He peed a ton. Looking back, Calvin may have been more on the heavy wetter side, and Eren is pretty much very normal and average, I believe, just comparing him to his brother. So this may be too much for him, but this is what we've been using for overnight specifically. No pins, just wrapping it around him and then smashing the cover on there while you're like holding everything down so that it doesn't escape while you put the cover on top. So now I said I pad fold the receiving blankets, but sometimes if I'm feeling kind of lazy and I still want to get that like poo protection, I'll just take my pad folded receiving blanket. Instead of just laying it in the cover, I will kind of push out this back part so that it at least gives a little more surface area for the poo to land on. And I'm not pinning it or anything. I'm just kind of laying it on him like that and then just folding it up inside of the cover. So sometimes I do that as well. So those are all of the flat folds we've been using so far this week. We're only like halfway through the challenge though. If you can't tell, I'm like super duper hot. We're really trying to not turn on the AC, but it's been really hot lately. I'm like super sweating. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did like it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.